morning. It is. What morning is this? Oh, fuck, man. Who's beeping at me? Shut up. We're gonna get out in this traffic, even if it means more beeping. Hurry, hurry, car, get out in the traffic, so you can sit at this light up here. I live in a very congested area, not congested area, but it's not a traffic area, especially in the morning time. So it's funny when people beep because you're not moving fast enough. It is what it is. One hell of a broadcast last night. If you missed it, yo, what's up, Trey? If you missed the debates last night, it was late. It was a late broadcast, so if you missed it, I understand. But man, was it good! It was a juicy one. It was a juicy one. I got to speak to a intersex, non-binary lady. Oh, yeah, that was the funny part. So I was being allegedly intersex, non-binary, on welfare, chronic back issues, obese. What else? Oh, level 1 autistic. Didn't realize there was levels. Unemployed, living in a $2,500 a month apartment, but she's broke. No, all good, man. Hopefully you're feeling better today. Yeah, really funny conversation. So I spoke with that person for a long time. Level 1 autistic, so that means I'm over 9,000. Yeah, I think so. This is one of the problems that I have. Is like a lot of times I'm entertained by what I'm hearing, and this person could totally be right. It could totally be. I think she was saying there's like 6 levels of autism, and she was saying like, because we were discussing Elon Musk a bit, and I was, they're saying, oh, he's a this and a that. Yeah. Well, the thing was, at first I was like, okay, like, people have issues, but it was like one thing after another with like all the shit that was wrong. Oh, and then they were like, well, I have a college degree, and you can't make this shit up, bro. She's like, I have a college degree, but I can't find a job, and I'm going for my master's now, and I failed out of school originally, but then I went back 7 years later. And I said, oh, what's your degree in? I was like, do you mind if I ask? And she's like, I have a bachelor, it's like a psychology, I think it's psychology, and with a bachelor in gender studies is essentially what she had. Yeah, I was just like, you can't even make this up. Like, this is the shit that I'm talking about. And chat, of course, was already like making the joke, and that's why I was like, oh, what's your degree in? Because I'm thinking like, oh, and one of the other person was that had a degree was in criminal justice, and I was like, oh, okay, like, but like again, it comes down to poor planning a lot of times in my head. Like, when you're going for a career shift or change or establishment, like, you should know like what it is that you'll be getting into. And and I'm in some ways I'm sort of sick of hearing that like there's no jobs out there. I'm like, no, you're just not willing to do the jobs that you don't want to do. You're not willing to be humbled by your career beginnings. And I was like, and I didn't say this, but I was just like, I don't know how many jobs are available out there for for gender studies. I mean, if I'm being completely honest. So it was just a really bizarre conversation. Hey, what's up, ANCAP? Did I see your comment? No. Do you have a comment that you made? Nope. Well, that was something. I know it did, ANCAP. I cleared it up though. It said like it got hacked, and then it sent the same message to everyone else. So if you did click that link, go change your Steam password and like reset your two-factor authorization. And if you don't have two-factor authorization, do it. So yeah, that was a couple days ago. I got it squared though. Thanks for letting me know. But yeah, I think you and several others had sent me a message. So, but I did see it. Thank you. Very good. Very good. Oh, dude, I was freaking out because I mean, like I thought I was literally gonna, I thought I was gonna lose my account. I think two-factor authorization is the only reason I like didn't fully leave it or lose it. Yo, Pete, what's up, man? Yes, the debate is available to watch. It should be. Oh, I'll send you the link, Pete. I'll send you the link because it might be uncategorized, honestly, because I started it up so quick. You might be able to go to like recent videos and then live, and then it's probably under there. It would definitely be under recent videos at this point. So no, you're good, man. You're good. Oh, I will. I didn't like again. I don't know if it, but it was also weird too. So these people were, the one chick was like, I am so against government, and I was like, oh, based, you know. This is at the end. Like I'm against government, but the whole time she's defending government in like big government, and I'm like, all you've done tonight is defend government. You're not anti-government. Like you are pro these big programs. Like you want, you know, all these tax dollars, you know. I don't know, this is wild. I do think there are people above flipping burgers, and then again, I believe in theory. Yeah, no, I gotcha. ANCAP, I do some debates over on TikTok occasionally, and so I did. It was probably like a 2.5 hour debate last night. Not even a debate, a discussion. Well, okay, this is what I was going to say, Trey. So this person, the funny thing is that she declared that she was married. She was in. And sometimes I like to be a woman, and sometimes I like to be a man, or like, you know, dress as such. But she's like, I only get respected when I dress like a woman. And then, I don't know, maybe an hour into the conversation, she said, you are a misogynist. I said, wait, I thought you were intersex non-binary. It's not what you're like, you are not one or the other. How can I be a misogynist? I was like, and miss, I am not. Just because you don't like what I'm saying doesn't mean I'm a misogynist. People are, it was such a bizarre conversation. I really encourage people to go watch it. The host of it like totally bailed, like just let us talk, which was kind of cool. But the other funny part was, so you know, it's me versus like 3 others plus the host. The host isn't really saying anything. I don't know what he's doing, but he's letting the panelists talk, which is good. And it comes out that one of the other women on there One of the women on there is from the city very close to me. And she starts talking about education and how about, oh, there's elementary schools shutting down in this city. There's already 6 or 7, 5 or 6. And some parents have to drive 120 miles. I was like, you are full of shit. Like, I called her out right there. I was like, that's not happening. I said, sure, elementary schools might be shutting down. And I said, one of them shut down, like, right next to my house due to lack of, like there wasn't enough kids. Like, they shut it down because there was too few kids and too many schools. So they consolidated them. Yeah, they weren't a dick. I mean, he was a little condescending in the beginning because he was involved in the beginning. But yeah, I was like, dude, nobody is driving 120 miles to drop their kids off at school. She's like, well, there's different parts of this city. I said, I know exactly where you're talking about. And I said, and it's not 120 miles. You know, like, the worst case scenario here is that this school year or next school year is that they don't have the bus situation figured out and the parents have to find a way to get their kids to school. But it's not like forevermore now. There's no, like, they don't just shut down schools mid-year. Like, that's not happening. But it was so nice to catch this person in a lie. 120 miles. Like, no way, dude. That ain't happening. It's not happening at all. Not even a little. But that's the thing. It's the beautiful thing about TikTok, or at least what these people think, is that I can just lie about anything because no one's going to check me. No one's going to check on me with it. So it's okay. I can just say the most insane shit. And I was, you know, we were in agreement on some things, which was cool, you know. There was one thing that I'm not familiar with that I know I need to learn more about. So she's from Seattle. The non-binary person was from Seattle. You know, they kept talking about their voucher program. So they live in a place that's $2,500 a month, and that's paid for. That's paid for, and then they have. But at the end of it all, their vouchers only give them about, they say, it's about $250 to $300 to live on. And I'm like, I kind of call bullshit here, but okay, let's say what you're saying is true. I said, why don't you just move to an apartment that's not $2,500 a month? Isn't that a novel idea? That's not how it works. I'm like, okay, well, how does it work then? Yo, what's up, Savage Dad? Great seeing me on Side Scrollers. Hey, yeah, I love those guys. I like hanging out with Blabs. Great. It's always nice to get an invite. Bro, I didn't realize the shenanigans with Razor Fist. You know? Oh, I said that. Professor, I said that same shit. I said, it sounds like you're living outside your means. Who are you to say? Who are you to say? I'm like, I'm not anyone. I'm just saying that, like, from what it sounds like, is that you don't, like, you're living. And I said this to the guy too, because the host was also making a point, like, oh, I work 60 hours a week and I don't have this or that. And I said, well, have you tried scaling back your expenses? Because it sounds like, and I know it's not always the case, I know cost of living is high. Move to a cheaper neighborhood. Cut back on your monthly expenses, your subscriptions, buy cheaper food. Like, there's so many ways to do it. And all the while, this person is, they're on the government team. Like they're on welfare, which I know, even as someone who's not disabled or any of that, when I was on food stamps, my wife was on WIC, it was a generous amount of money, like a little absurd how much that we were getting. And that was with jobs. Like, we had jobs, but it was like, it was insane how much we were getting. A quick pause though, like, yeah, regarding the Razorfist stuff, I don't, I think the internet smells blood and they want their piece, right? So that's one reason that I think seeing people react the way they do. I think his biggest critics are using it as a way to, to say their piece. But I don't know. Problem is that people make mistakes all the time. People make mistakes constantly, and when you bring up stuff from the past like that to leverage whatever on the internet, that's not okay to me. Like the public forum is not the place. I think one of the issues I see is that people have been conditioned to live past their needs. Oh yeah, totally extra zero. Yeah, and again, I don't know enough about it, so it's hard for me to draw any sort of conclusion. He was dating Evie when she was 15 and he was 30. Yeah, that's I mean, if that's the case, if that is the case, that is like, that's very inappropriate. Again, I don't know the details. I'll take you at your word that was the case, and that's not okay. But yeah, hopefully he gets his shit together and learns his lesson. Oh shit! It can be true that some of the loudest people can be some of the most guilty. And we've now seen that on many sides of the political aisle. Sometimes you just gotta keep your mouth shut on it. Or like, I think having a normal response to things is completely good, but I think when, like his shtick is a little different. It's a little bit more brazen. And I think that doesn't help the cause, and it's why people are ripping him apart, other than the obvious, like, hey, you're in an inappropriate relationship, maybe don't do that. Like, unforgivable. Yeah, oh dude, like, this conversation last night was one of the better ones that I've come across. Same people complaining about their welfare, or get expensive their rent is, are the same kind of people who eat out every day of the week. Yeah. Oh, and then she's like, oh, I have a dog. And I was like, why do you have a dog if you're on welfare and don't have money? She goes, it's a service dog, you asshole. And I was like, I didn't know it was a service dog. Sorry, lady. And she was like, and then the conversation goes, I was like, okay, if it's a service dog, and like you need it, fine. And then later on, someone goes, oh, whose cats make that noise? And it was probably mine, because they, like, one cat like whines in the back all the time. She goes, oh, that's probably my cats. And I say, you have cats? Like, you're poor. Like, you say you don't have money and you have animals. Like, now you have to take care of other things and vet bills. Like, get rid of your cats, lady. You want more money, get rid of your animals. Who are you? I don't like the moralists who can You can dish it out and not take it, or the bloodlust for outrage. I've had it with Greg and what he's been doing. I just like how he says one thing. I can't. He adopts Jeremy's text. Yeah, I don't. He used the Shagsworth Discord to play Diet P off of YouTube for his. Oh, I don't know that drama. Man, I'm so glad I can't keep up with it though. What's up, EmperorDoomsDay? No, we can chat sometime, Extra Zero. I'd love to chat. I just don't know anything about it, and it's hard to catch up whilst driving. And Professor Savage said, I see your comments too. I just can't read them because, you know, I'm driving. I try to when I can. And Mr. Drow's here. Whoa! It's a party now. It's a party. Guys, tonight is the midweek hump. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you're back at it with us. Vex Electronica is going to join us. We're going to have a grand old time. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Hella good times. And Late Art's here. Oh my gosh. And Cap's still here. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you can. Like yesterday, everyone reporting the developer for the MAGA threats despite having no receipts beyond Grum's. Yeah, so I asked about that. Craig said that he did check with Grum's on that. I take that with a grain of salt, and because I don't think he's a reliable source at all. But I'll for sure say that. The one thing I will say, and I agreed on with Blabs, is that when someone scrubs their social media like that, a lot of times it's not necessarily an admission of guilt, but it certainly strongly hints at that. And no, you're right, and that's one of the reasons I was skeptical, is because the issue you see here, guys, is when something like this comes out, nobody likes Blizzard or Activision right now, and I said this on Side Scrollers. Nobody likes Blizzard Activision. Some people are shitty enough to fake stuff like this, and they know it's believable enough because nobody likes MAGA either. So they make up these stories. They're easily doctored, and they throw a picture on there, and then they say, "Oh, his thing is scrubbed," or what, like that. Like putting up something fake like that can sometimes be as devastating for someone. Career, family life, all that stuff. Oh, was it Craig? Sorry. Oh, I remember. Blabs made the point that made the opposite point, which was also true. Sorry, I misspoke there. You're right. I think one of the important things to take away from it was, I don't know. I've been on the same page with Blab as well. I spoke with her a little bit about this. I think just like the voice actor story that we covered, like it's not good enough to draw a conclusion based on what we've seen. There's a lot of missing details that we're not getting, and we can make assumptions on that, but it's not really serving anyone at the moment. Like I said, a lot of this stuff, it's lining some people's pockets who don't really want to do the work, because it's inflammatory, and again, it's trendy. It's trendy to hate MAGA. It's trendy to hate these big the AAA game developers. But like we need solid proof that actually happened. Nice, dude. Yeah, I've seen it. It looks awesome. Thanks for doing that. I actually stumbled across all the files the other day. I was like, oh, I remember these. Right, and I think that was one of the things I tried to, that I was trying to reiterate, because even Blabs caught me up in like I was like, yeah, this sounds like with the voice actor, it sounded like a drug overdose, and I was making an assumption, and I'm really trying not to do that. I'm trying to steer away from this came out, well, that means this. Like, it doesn't always mean that. It's all gossiping at the end of the day. Like, what we're doing is just like, oh, it's water cooler talk. Well, it could be this. Well, it could be that. But it is one of the problems with virality on these social networks, is that the right person shares something as like definitive proof, and now that becomes like science fact. Like, oh, this person said a thing. Well, you could destroy this guy's career if he didn't actually say that. Like, it's hard to recover from that, even if a retraction's printed, or they report that, oh, this was faked. Like, we didn't mean to share it. Like, well, no one cares at this point. And not the same amount of people aren't going to see it. I dislike Crash Thesda, their recent flop, Star Crap. Yeah. Okay, my back. Okay, my back. I think I'm back now. I think we're good. Hello. Yeah, the whole thing is pretty. Woo! I'm back. Let's go. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Yeah, the whole, and it's this was my problem with reactionary content, and I'm guilty of it to some extent, and like, I do think it's important to change the language while discussing it. Is like, well, I don't even know if it's necessary in like a live format, but I do think it's good practice to like, to say allegedly, or to say like, hey, this isn't confirmed, but this is what I'm reading. Like, saying something definitively can lead to people losing their jobs. Now, I don't have the reach to just someone's job, but again, I think it's good practice, like when you're discussing with people, like, you just don't know. And the reason I've always said, like, we just need to we do need to follow in this, like, treat others as we want to be treated, right? The golden rule, practicing the golden rule. Because when it comes down to it, if something happened to me, and like I would wish for some grace, like, and some understanding to some degree, especially if it were like false. And I know that's hard for some people. I know some people are like, no, they don't deserve it. They just deserve blah. Yes, but some people might think that about you one day because you happen to fall on the wrong side of the political. That's not fair. Yeah, we do need to be able to challenge our peers. It's hard, man. the hardest thing in the criticism on yourself, like to criticism about you. It is one of the hardest things. Especially in the moment. There's nothing harder than getting super chats. What's up, Courtney? Getting super chats that like are demeaning you, right? Like that's not an easy thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like and it never came up, of course, but I would say like the Game Awards stuff, the real Game Awards, I think he's right and he's wrong. I've given my criticism on it, but I think him just going out and doing it was the initial good first step. Like you got to just do it, and then you can sort of manipulate from there. The production value was there, but it always throughout the production of it, it seemed a bit rushed, which could have been intentional or not. Maybe like they wanted to get it done as quickly as possible, but also seemed like it wasn't being rushed. I thought it felt rushed. I was very surprised at some of the nominations in there. Not like the non-binary person or whatever, but like the fact that Call of Duty was in there. Like that was so bizarre to me. I expected to see a lot more indie titles involved, so that was strange. But to his credit, it is voted on by these are it's a community-driven thing. Right, that was the other thing. Was like a game that wasn't 2024 was in there, so that was another issue. I said it certainly wasn't perfect. Can he build on that? I think so. But the question becomes, what's the plan for next? What's the plan for next year? How do you improve on that? I thought that Mark the Cyborg. Mark's a great, if you're going to put together a list of games that were the best for the year, Mark's the guy to talk to. For sure. He is. And it can, I do think there needs to be 2 or 3 people who are coming up with a list of games, who are, sort of taking some of these top games throughout the year, putting them in categories. But yeah, I think the format is just a bit wonky. And I truly believe you need to involve more developers. You need to find a way to get developers involved. And maybe this first one, it looked like there was one developer who was mentioned that was very happy about their involvement. The other one was not. So it's yeah, I think the thing with the Real Game Awards is this stuff will probably all be done behind the scenes. We'll never know if someone really sort of tore it apart for him, and was honest with him about it. I don't know if he wants to hear my side of things. I would be willing to write up my criticism and send it to him, and I probably will now that I mention it, because I don't think it needs to be done in a public forum. I don't think that Craig needs to be drilled publicly on what needs to change about the Real Game Awards. But I do think that there needs to be changes in order to scale it better and to also bring something new and different. Like the first one, like that's your prototype, that's your pilot. Now you have to build on that. Which again, he knows how to make, he knows how to produce TV series. And like I said, the production value wasn't bad at all. Like you had some good production value in that. But I would like to see, I would like to see some games that make sense to be there, because I think ultimately this is about showcasing some of the best games. And in my humble opinion, like AAA titles, for the most part, don't have much business being on this list, especially Call of Duty. I don't care how many people play it or like think that like Black Ops 6 is somehow going to save the franchise. It doesn't really have any business being on the Real Game Awards, in my opinion. And that did sort of get addressed yesterday. I do know that. Yeah, for sure, Professor Savage said. And this is turning into me publicly stating what I think should happen with the Real Gamer Awards. Like, I'm critical of it because I think that there's better ways to do this. But like, the other thing I would like to see, and I know they're trying to differentiate themselves. Like the category for worst game journalist, like I don't think that's a good idea. You're not going to garner any respect by doing that. And I understand why they're doing it, but like this isn't a category that you can continue to do. Also, like best jiggle physics. Now I know their biggest supporters will tell me that I am a loser, like it's a joke, stop being an asshole. Like, you're trying to grow a legitimate awards show. Like, you don't need, unless your entire award show is like for the worst things, then having those categories is not like you're awarding people. You're giving people credit for the amazing jobs they did. Don't have anything negative. It should be there to celebrate achievements in gaming. That's it. The pointing out of bad, like everybody knows that like those people were bad. Right. Like, I'm all for them doing two different award shows. Make an award show that is like that someone else runs, like maybe even within G&G, that is like, what are those called, the raspberries or something, in Hollywood. Like make the equivalent for the gaming industry. Like make that award show. That would be funny. You could have fun with that. Get someone who is actually funny to host and run that show. Don't take what you want to be a serious award show and then make categories like that. I think that's you're devaluing your product. That's just my opinion. And I say this with all the love because I know Craig's a hardworking dude. I know Blabs is hardworking. Like, they try and put on a very good show. This is like, again, take it or not. I want to see it be even better. Instead of jiggle physics, you could just say the game physics. Like how, yeah, like that's also, again, that is a real category for games. Like best usage of a physics system or something, like get technical. I haven't played Wukong, so I don't know anything about the story or why that would be a funny win. I think if they were kind of announced separately or in a list that was made more of a joke, they would work. No, Professor Savage, that's what I'm saying. So like the Raspberries, I think that's what they're called. The Raspberries it's in a complete award show that is for like all the flops in Hollywood. Like nobody wants a raspberry, but like Keanu Reeves has like a bunch of raspberries early in his career. You could do the very same thing, but like with completely different people. You don't even have to brand it under G&G, but maybe it's just like run by a group. Oh, the Razzies, that's what it's called. But separate the two and give me more technical awards. Awards for story, awards for, like, again, best usage of physics system, maybe most creative, like combat or something, like all of these things. Like, there are so many award categories that they could play with that, are not waifu and husbando. And again, I know it's a meme and I know what they're doing, so nobody has to explain it to me. Like, I'm fully aware. Right. The game Razzies would be fucking awesome. And honestly, Extra Zero, you should talk to Gronking about that. Because those guys, you guys would be fucking hilarious at that shit. Like, you guys have a crazy sense of humor that I think would just rip apart. Like, and I think you would be real about it. So consider it. I corrected myself, sorry. No, but I think you should do the game Razzies, is what I'm saying. Because I think you guys would have way more fun with it. My criticism of the Gronkies is that I don't know what that means. And that if I said, oh, I'm going to go watch the Gronkies tonight, no one knows what that means. I think your guys' award show would probably benefit from a name rebranding. I think it's fun, but I don't know what it means. And that's partially my own. It's my own ignorance on it. But the show name is good. Like, I have trouble branding my own stuff. Like, it's not great. Like, when you hear the names of my shows, like, you don't really know what they are. And that's kind of a problem. So I don't know what the answer is. I know I'm bad with it. Yep, I think so. Extra Zero. I agree. It's okay to misunderstand them. I love the Australians. Those guys are great. Some of my favorite peeps. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably write something up because, like I said, I want to see my friends succeed. I want to, like, people who continually ask me to return to their show and talk, like, I want to see whatever product they're making become good, and take it or leave it. I wouldn't be offended if he said, "Oh, thanks, but I'm good." Like, okay, that's fine. Like, at the end of the day, what do I know? I mean, I run a rinky-dink YouTube channel that people watch and enjoy occasionally. We're not pulling hundreds of people every week, so they're obviously doing something better than me. But I think there's nothing wrong with voicing that, especially if you have contact with the person. Even if you don't, I think people sharing their ideas, like, even, if you're able to direct message him or, mentioning him on Twitter, I think pushing those those ideas to him are important because, and even Blabs, because I'm sure they probably have a running document somewhere of, you know, tips and tricks or suggestion box stuff for, you know, for the next year, because that's stuff they got to start implementing now. They have to start looking at all these new releases. They got to start, you know, if it's eventually going to go to an in-person format. I don't imagine it would be this year, but, you know, they got to start thinking about how to correct and plan and expand. So, and you never know. Sometimes you can be a big influence on people like that. Yeah, my branding skills they're not great. I like pick a name based on what I think sounds catchy, like Ready Set Shag. Like, yay, Ready Set Shag sounds cool, but you don't know what it is about. Like, you don't know what that means. So, like, to that end, it's not good branding. Like the midweek hump, like, nobody knows what that means. Side Scrollers is a great brand because if you hear the name if you hear Side Scrollers podcast, like you can understand what that thing might be. Like, oh, a side scroller is a type of video game and blah blah blah. Like, so yeah, like it's a really good brand, really good branding. Chin wagon with Shag, yeah. Chin wagon with your boy. Let me see. It should be noon my time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Oh, maybe. Yeah. Content creation is one of the hardest things in the world to do because you're starting from a place of zero. Like, nobody knows you. You need to build your own credibility. Like, build your niche. Like, why should I listen to this guy? What is he saying that I should what is he saying that I should pay attention to? You know, what separates him from the other people, you know? Like, I stopped streaming. Like, I'm in a really love-hate relationship with Twitch, not because of the platform itself, but because game streaming right now, like, all I want to play right now is Path of Exile 2. But, like, my gameplay for Path of Exile 2 doesn't really add anything to the conversation. Like, sure, I could get on there and, like, play the game and, like, talk about stuff, but, like, I like being engrossed in games, but I don't know the game systems enough. Like, when people come in and they're like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? Like, what's this all about? Like, can you tell me, like, what ability is good to add? Like, I don't know that. So I want to stream live on Twitch my gameplay, but like, all I'm doing is, like, using someone else's build and dying quite a bit. So no one wants to see that. And I know that. I know nobody wants to see that. What's up, Jack? Yeah, game streaming is a different entity to social commentary. It totally is. So I'm trying to separate the two. Like, what I want to do eventually is to like live stream on Twitch and then just push stuff to my gaming channel, which if you're not subscribed to my gaming channel, it's Shagsworth Gaming. You can go over there. There's some old broadcasts over there, but I do want to eventually build that up with my game stuff from Twitch. because when I do play things, I want a place for it to go and for people to be able to watch it if it's there and possibly build something along the way. So, and even like, upload some shorts or whatever. I just got a new thing that helped me like mark spots on my video so I can make clips and shorts a little bit better. I want to stream Tony Hawk 2, just let people laugh at me injuring my character. Honestly, do I have that game? I think I have it. I really should play it again. When I was a kid, I played so much Tony Hawk Pro Skater, like it would make you sick. I find solo game streaming relies more on the popularity of the game plus your own personality brand. Yes, for sure. You can get into niche stuff. Like if you are entertaining enough, like you could play like those games that are like highly niche, and then get an audience that way. But again, a lot of the problem with game streaming is that if you don't have like, if you're like variety streamers, like it's really hard to make it as a variety streamer. You have to have that social commentary, like banter mind. Like you need to be able to like jump topics and jump games because you need, I mean, people usually come and gravitate towards people who are playing a specific game. They're like, oh, I want to watch Final Fantasy VII today. Oh, I want to watch The Binding of Isaac. And that's what I want to learn more about. So they're there, talking, they're there for that. And the minute you play something else, it's like they're gone. Because what you guys don't know is I've actually built my original Twitch channel on Elder Scrolls Online. Like I played Elder Scrolls Online so much when it first came out. And then the minute I switched to something else, gone. People were gone. When I was like, oh, I want to go play other games because I've always done it this way, nobody followed. Everybody just found different streamers to watch for Elder Scrolls. It was very disheartening at the time. And it really rubbed me the wrong way. But now I know not to take it personally because it's not me. It's just they want to see a game that I don't fully play anymore. So I understand. Anywho, that's it for me. Watch out for my game streams. YouTube.com/Shagsworth Gaming if you want to start seeing some gaming content pop up. But I'll post the debate should be available in Discord. You should be able to go into Discord and find the debate from last night if you're interested. It was a very interesting conversation. I really enjoyed it. It went long, but it's certainly something that I think people can learn from. I was able to agree with them, and I disagreed with them on a lot, but we were able to come to like some agreements on things. So I think there is hope, but I think most people don't want to be convinced otherwise, and I might be guilty of that sometimes. But I appreciate all of you. Mr. Dro, thank you. Professor Savage Dad, Jack Tarlad. Let's see who else we got. Who else was here? Extra Zero, thanks, brother. Appreciate all your talk today. My brother was here too, Pete. Thank you. Brahma Bull, thanks for stopping in. Who else we got? Who else was here? Late Art was here. It's Courtney, Fellowship of the Oddballs. Y'all are amazing. ANCAP Gamer, Emperor Doomsday. That's all I can see. Y'all are great. Jack Charlie, as the final shot says, I reiterate that your audience are the people who want to watch your show. It doesn't matter what you do. If you can gain an audience by putting out content you want, yeah. I agree, man. Oh, and obviously the most important thing, tonight, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, Vex Electronica is joining us on the midweek hump. Please stop by and say hello to her. Show her some love. Show us some love with a like later on. But love you guys, and we'll see you guys later on today.